and welcome again to another fantastic episode of News Nobody Wants to Talk About. What's going on with my hair? Perfect. Let's try that again. Do you remember a couple of weeks back when I covered Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge? A remake of the classic arcade-style scroll and beat 'em up of the Ninja Turtles games we've grown to know and love? Well, it turns out they've added a fifth and playable character to the mix that I think everybody has been waiting for, and I can't be more excited. Yes, it turns out Miss April O'Neil herself in her yellow jumpsuit and microphone will be jumping into the fray and kicking butt with the Turtles when this game releases. Now, I'm just as excited as everybody else, but did you expect them to add April O'Neil as a beat-em-up playable character? When was the last time that you saw her in a game? I think it was Tournament Fighters. How cool is this? Are you guys ready to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's release come out when the game gets dropped? I know I am. Let me know in the comments down below if you're a Turtles fan. WB Games and Lord of the Rings makes it onto the list this week as we get the new Lord of the Rings game Rise to War, which seems to be on a mobile platform basis, and I can't wait to see how that game looks. And of course, fans went perfect 50-50 split between yay and one does not simply make a Lord of the Rings game for the iOS, and bashed the heck out of it. Now, I personally think it's going to be swell and can't wait to see it and try it out and jump. I mean, the latest Avengers game we got for the friggin' phone was badass, but the Avengers game that we got for platform that was all big budget was crap. What's your opinion on this topic, man? Are you excited about the game? Are you meh? Are you a console gamer only? Let me know. This is a pretty neat, super interesting game that just came out last week, and I gotta say it's worth checking out. 12 minutes plays through a time loop of one bad day for a young couple, voiced by James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley, and has a cop involved who's voiced by Willem Dafoe. Oh, I'm totally buying this game. Take control of a man who is reliving the same day over and over, but only in a span of 12 minutes for each playthrough. So exactly enough time to piece together everything, right? Find out for yourself. It's available on consoles and PC. 12 minutes. Sounds neat.
The Transformers will return after these messages. Return to the Transformers.
Who would have thought Alfred Hitchcock would make a comeback with all his scary movie awesomeness? Well, it turns out a publisher named Microids is releasing a game later this year that's going to be suspenseful and pretty neat looking. Called Vertigo, it surrounds a man who's trying to piece together his wife and child's disappearance while suffering from an incredibly extreme case of vertigo. Hitchcock was always good at taking something that wasn't technically scary and putting it through enough of a twist to make it terrifying. Check out the trailer for Vertigo today and tell me what y'all think. I think it looks spoopy as heck. People, please put down the torches and hand over them pitchforks. We know Saints Row is getting remade. Yes, it's going to be awesome to play. No, the original cast isn't coming back for some reason. No, it's not keeping the colorful, fun, anarchy-fueled gameplay look and feel that it's familiar with. Yes, it's instantly brewed disappointment from the fans from the series who've now come back to that 50-50 split from earlier. Some are like, woo, and the others are like, boo, you suck. All I know is that Saints Row 3 is still free on the Epic Store. So maybe go back and play that classic instead of hating on its future. I don't know. Just make the game good, please. Now I'm gonna hand it over to my main guy, Herb Herbansky. Herb, what have you got for me this week, my guy?
Thank you, Nobuddy. Coming up this week on Uplifting Stories in a minute, an organization in Virginia provides forever homes for senior cats with senior citizens. Scientists in China have developed a sense of touch for people with prosthetic limbs, and a group of dogs saved the lives of over a dozen people struggling in the water off the coast of Italy. Back to you.
Thank you, Herb. I always appreciate your contributions to the channel, and check out Uplifting Stories in a minute if you haven't yet. They're just so uplifting. We're going to switch it over into movie news with a little more intense of a story that's not really related to a movie as much as it related to someone who makes them. Who's like the last guy you would think to rob? Is it the guy who's done like 76 Mission Impossible movies where he's jumped off of a plane through like rings of fire and lands on a jet and blows up the other plane and then backflips onto a building? Of course I'm referring to parkour enthusiast Mr. Tom Cruise himself, who just recently had his driver robbed for his BMW. Yes, it turns out some criminal took a mold of the key fob and broke in and stole it. The key gave him access to the car that had thousands of dollars in euros and a bunch of his possessions and luggage and stuff. So, like, this was all during the latest Mission Impossible shoot, and although the car was later found and his money and possessions were not, that was absolutely a crazy thing to read. I mean, who wants to jack Tom Cruise? Then again, there was totally a guy who punched Rick Moranis, so the world is a mixed up, crazy place. Would you have stolen Tom Cruise's BMW? I don't think that's the kind of question I should be asking my fans. Now, if you guys are watching this like the good little nobodies that I know you are, man, I really need to work on that group name. Then that means when you guys are done with this today, you're going to jump on Disney Plus and see that new series regarding that adorable little fluffy dog from that movie Up. Yes, of course I'm talking about Squirrel! No, I mean Doug. Doug the dog. Doug Days will be released today, actually, detailing the life and fun and hijinks of one of our favorite Pixar characters, as well as some others from the cast of one of my favorite movies ever. Are you gonna watch it? Because I am. I love Doug. He's such a good boy. This one should make you laugh. Do you remember that band Nirvana? Kurt Cobain? Smells Like Teen Spirit? It's a classic mainstay in American music culture, and even today, 13-year-olds are walking around with Nirvana band shirts on, so they had some sort of impact. Now, remember a particular album cover with a young baby boy swimming after a dollar bill on a hook? What if I told you that that little scamp grew up into a shaggy-headed kid, who grew up into a goofier-looking adult, and after years of recreating the photo, now he's decided to sue Nirvana because he didn't want to be in the album cover. And he considers it to be child abuse and also child pornography. Which is goofy to me because it just seems like all those years later, he's just still trying to catch that dollar on the hook.
Oh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that.
I wonder if y'all knew that Weird Al recreated that album cover 8 years back for one of his albums. I wonder if he's suing himself. Am I being too mean about this, or is that kid just being dumb? You guys let me know in the comments down below what you think, but I think it's goofy. Did you ever expect to see Benedict Cumberbatch and Kristen Dunst in a movie? Well, look no further, because apparently The Power of the Dog, set to release here soon, is saddling up to be a pretty wild-looking cowboy movie. Now, while I'm sure we are all used to seeing Benadryl, Cold, and Flu in roles like Doctor Strange and Smaug, it seems like this role is not exactly a stretch for the oh-so-talented actor and actress. I'm honestly excited to see this. Broccoli Cheese Plate and Kirsten Dunst look like they're ready to saddle up from what I saw from the trailer. And I'm curious to see how it plays out. Did you know about The Power of the Dog? And why didn't you tell me?
The Transformers will return after these messages.
I mean, I have a job. I mean, yeah, I don't get benefits or vacation time. I can't ever leave. We can't ever see each other. Those are all really valid points.
We now return to the Transformers.
This one's probably going to make you smile a little more than it should, because I'm a huge fan of both of these two guys, and I really hope this comes out. Turns out that on a talk show recently, Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa were discussing whether or not they should do another movie together. You see, the two of them were in Dune recently, and they both are in that series on Apple Plus called See, I think. It's really freaking awesome, by the way, if you guys haven't seen it yet. But they were talking, and it seems that a buddy cop film might be in the works. That literally spawned from the two of them like, hey, do you want to make a buddy cop movie? Yeah, that sounds great. We should totally do that. On TV, on live air, and then decided, yeah, we're going to run with it. So this is totally happening, and I actually can't wait to see it happen because I think it's going to be amazing. What do you guys think? Should there totally be a Hawaiian cop buddy movie with Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista? I'm a huge fan of both of those guys, so I can't wait to see how that plays out. I was thinking about covering new information regarding comic books and stuff, so I'm curious if any of you read them. Also, if you have the Kindle app on your phone, you should know that there are still free comics to be given away, so you should check that out if you are a fan and see what they have there available. There are some pretty decent titles. Just let me know in the comments down below because there is some pretty cool stuff to come out that way as far as comics are concerned. And if you guys want me to cover it, I'll talk about it just for you. Some bummer news out of Steam today as I wrap up shop where video game news is concerned. Turns out that people are exploiting a system where refunds can be given to people within a certain timeline of games played or hours played within a game. Now, if you don't know what that means, it means if you boot up a game that you bought and played it for like an hour and a half, or I think it's 2 hours is like the minimum, you have the chance to get it refunded for the full price through Steam. Now, certain indie developers that have made little like video game experiences and stuff that are also very cute to play and awesome may fall within the timeline of those refunds, i.e. like their gameplay length might only be 2 hours. And people out there, the trolls that they are, and you know who you are, and I'm not your friend, are getting these refunds just so that they can like get the money back for the game that they played with no real reason for, discord, like they don't like it or it wasn't playing well, just so that they can get their money back. Basically playing the game for free. And it almost, well, no, it did. It completely costed a studio to shut down. One of these indie studios had to like tearfully shut down because they didn't have the money to either continue working on the game that they released that people exploited, but also to finish the game that was the sequel to that game that they were working on with the money that they were making from the previous title. Now, if that doesn't scream messed up, then we clearly do not get to share a Sunday, people, because that's messed up. If you pay for a game and you play through it all the way and you enjoy it, that's like, and then try to get your money back, that's like eating a steak and then complaining to get a refund. If you ate the whole steak, what was so bad about it? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? I completely think that that's wrong. What do you guys think? I want to know in the comments down below if you think that this is something that maybe the developers and the industry can get together on maybe fixing to prevent, or is it something that's just like an unavoidance, like you can't avoid it. It's just something that they can exploit. Tell me in the comments down below so I stop freaking out about it. As far as I know, guys, that's going to do it for this week's episode of News Nobody Wants to Talk About. I love it when you guys come into the studio and see what's shaking. Don't forget, we release a new video every Wednesday, so be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Until then, I'm Nobody. I love your face, and I will see you next time.